Mr. Ajishafe. You're welcome, sir. Oh, we have Mr. Fabi Augustine. He's also a member of the Exclusive Music Organization. He's not just a member, he's part of the official, and we have him as the ICT head. You're welcome, sir. Then we have Mr. Taiwo Adebite. You're welcome, sir. Really happy to have you around. Then we have Miss Anne. You're welcome, ma'am.
Hope you guys don't mind.
Okay. We have
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Theophilo. You're welcome, sir.
Do you guys mind the volume?
So we'll be moving on immediately, and I would like to let you know that you have not come here to waste your time. So just make yourself comfortable, pick up your writing materials as we get started. Before we move on, I'll just like for us to make sure we are open enough to get the message that will be shared with us this evening. So now we'll be moving forward. But we have a guest speaker in our midst. Okay, in person of Mr. Charles Udekwe, can we give him a round of applause? We are going to do the proper introduction as we move on, but before then, let's just give that for now. You're welcome, sir. So we'll be moving on, and we'll be
Hello,
having
good
the
afternoon.
okay. Good evening, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, sir.
Hello, hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so we'll be having the opening speech from Mrs. Yes, she's the leader of our CEO, and would like to welcome her specially into our midst this evening. So please, if you have not been clapping, I want to see your reactions. I want to see your messages, please. Thank you so much. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. So now we'll be taking the opening speech by the CEO in person of Mr. Engr, and you'll be coming on board immediately.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes,
So,
I can hear you.
thank you very much. As Ms. Miracle said, my name is Engr, and I am the founder and the CEO of the Exclusive Music Organization. And I'm super glad to be here tonight. And um, this event, I would say, is such a blessing to me. Starting music as a child for me, it's a very young age. Has been, has been a joyful thing for me. And I would say music is more than just an art. Music is a spirit. Music is music is a way of life. Music brings meaning to life. And if there are people living as successful men today, can trace it to the effect of music in their lives. That is why we as an organization that is dedicated in inspiring lives through quality music and an advocate for music education in Africa, we have come together to improve the livelihood and the education system here in Africa and even beyond as time goes on. So um, you can be wondering why we have brought this kind of webinar, even though it doesn't have to deal with music in terms of performance or music writing or reading. I tell you, musicians are disciplined people, and in every part of life, as a musician, they have to be good. As a music enthusiast, they have to be good. As a music lover or as an intending music performer, they have to be good. They have to be disciplined. And this is why our organization as a body come together to bring up this innovation series that will span throughout 2025. And next year, we have another series again. So, once again, it's our joy to have you around. And I cannot just but recognize the presence of my my first mentor um, that taught me music writing, and that was the person of Mr. German, not Joseph from Mexico. Thank you so much, sir. I'm so glad to see you here,
Did you go for the
uh,
other?
witnessing witnessing me, in a music team and working together with like-minded people. I'm so glad. God bless you so much, Mr. German. And also my my mentor, who has been my life coach and has been my friend, my brother, and as unfortunately he happens to be a director and the chairman of this great organization, Mr. Director Paul Afe Aduragbe. Thank you so much for your efforts. And good to know that we are all present here tonight just to show we are great men here. And I also have one great man here, my mentor that AFCF Nigeria here, Futa in Akure, Ondo State, gave to me. That's Mr. Taiwo Gadibute. Thank you so much, everyone. And to all the exclusive team, one around here, Mr. This is not a vote of thanks or benediction, but I just have to include it, to my welcome speech. So you're all welcome. So we can I declare this webinar and this meeting open. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Look forward to learning and to relearn and to unlearn tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir, for that nice speech. Thank you and amen. God bless you too. So we'll be moving on and we'll be having a main speaker who is a guest speaker come up next. But before he comes up, I want to read his bio and to introduce him. So let us all get ready. While the introduction is being done, let us get our writing materials ready because we are about to kickstart the most important part of this webinar, and it's it's so important that you come here and you get what you really need to get. So we'll be starting now. So our main speaker, our guest speaker for today is Engineer Charles Namdi Udekwe, and is a man having a clear career path in mind. He's a seasoned researcher who works effectively in research group solving technological challenges. His research interest is primarily telecommunication engineering. However, he can work in multidisciplinary group. He's a dedicated, detailed, and capable research fellow with a keen analytical mind built over many years' experience. As a tutorial master for primary, secondary, and tertiary students, acquiring a strong and solid foundation in fundamentals of science subjects such as mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology. He has acquired diverse professional skills through studying, researching, learning, and working in academic environments. He obtained his master's degree in Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa, Nigeria, where he majored in telecommunication and electronics engineering. He has been involved in several research works in different aspects of 5G and beyond. Also, his competence in software and hardware skills with a very good command of programming with MATLAB and Python languages. Also, he finished as the best graduating student in his master's program at Federal University of Technology, Akure. Also, in
Yeah, my husband died. I'm telling you, I don't know how to describe the place. It's around my church, like learning more. Màá béèrè orúkọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣàlọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ bro Sunday tí mo bá rí
his
i.
lecture speech to us this evening. Mr. Past Engineer Charles, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for me being here in your midst. It's my great pleasure to do my own little quota of impacting lives. It's always my joy to impact lives. Right from my childhood, if there's anything I love the most, is to make sure that through my own living, another life is impacted. That has been my life pursuit. And I thank God I have that opportunity to do that for this wonderful group I'm meeting here. I may not know many of you by face, apart from your CEO. I don't know whether, okay, I'm seeing Taiwo there. Maybe just a few others that I will know, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me here. So I don't know whether am I starting immediately or still any other. Should I still
Yes,
hold on?
yes, sir, you can.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then please let me ask, how many minutes am I being given for this for my talk?
You have 40 minutes, sir.
40 minutes. Okay, please. If I'm over talking, please feel free to quickly remind me that my time is almost up. Please.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, so the title here that I'm having is turning setbacks to opportunities. That's what I have here. So when I saw the topic, so I was like, what will be my speech? What will I tell you guys? And the first thing that flashed to my mind is tell you guys my life story. My life story has always been one that has to do with turning setbacks to opportunities. Now, I'm not setback may look as if may sound like a negative concept, but let me tell you the truth. Setbacks are important. Now, I'm not going to call it setback. I'm going to call them challenges. So, without challenges, you can never make it in life. It's not possible. Okay. Now, let me go through my life history and let me so that you see some of the in quote setback that God helped me to turn to opportunities. At the age of 10, now I couldn't go to school. My parents are not too wealthy like that, so they struggle, to get money to eat and all that. So at the age of 10, I couldn't go to school. In fact, we couldn't have a house to stay. Our landlord just pursued us from our own house at that age. I was not even 10. Maybe I should be 8, 9, or 7. I can't remember, but I know I was not up to 10. So what happened? We had to look for this church, not a church really, but they call them these Sabbatarians, those that worship on Saturday, not a 7 days Adventist too. There's these people that worship on Saturday the way they do it in the Old Testament. They wear white garments, they do all the feast of tabernacle, the feast of Passover, all those things. They do it like Old Testament in full force. So that was the only place we could stay because there was no money for us to rent. Now, do you know what happened? Now, while I was there, I couldn't go to school. Then, now they have a temple. We call our own church auditorium, but they have their own. They call it temple. So I will go into the temple. I can spend hours there. You know what I was reading? I was just reading the Bible. Now, I love reading right from time. At my tender age, I love reading. So I channeled my energy in reading the Bible then. I just enjoyed the story of David, the story of Samuel, the story of the Judges, the story of Jeremiah, the story of, I love reading them. So I will spend time reading. In fact, at that time, I read the Bible back to back 4 times at that age. So I knew every story in the Bible, every story that I could not even be contained in the children department, because in that place, I used to, since I'm not up to 10, so I'm in the children department. But my knowledge was so much that they have to take me away from the children department to the adult department. Now, so look at the first setback or challenge was that I couldn't go to school. But look at the opportunity it afforded me. So I had time to read the scriptures very, very well. And today, it became a pivotal foundation for whatever I want to do in life. Because that time I spent reading the scriptures over and over and over again, it changed my mindset, changed the way I think, and I began to see God in everything that happens over the years. Because I didn't stop from there. I didn't stop in that time. I kept reading the Bible, even till today. Every day I always read my Bible. So I knew the stories. Then as I was growing up, and I began to know their spiritual importance. So one of the first things that God did for me was that He gave me that opportunity to immerse myself inside the scriptures, inside the Bible at a very tender age. And where did it come from? From a setback, in quotes, that I couldn't go to school. Now, after a while, I started one primary school. Then again, we changed location. So, okay. Now, I got to primary 4, 5, 6. Now, we had to change location to another place to stay. The school I got to attend again, those are, they don't have primary, I think primary 5. They don't have 5. So, I have to repeat primary 4 again. So, I repeated primary 4. Repeated primary 5, now continue from 5 and 6. Now, it will be as if I'm repeating a class. But when the moderator was reading my Bible, I have a fundamental grasp of mathematics, physics, and all that, So that setback of repeating a class gave me that opportunity of understanding those mathematics again. Because, imagine doing it the first time and going over it to doing it the second time. Whatever you do repeatedly, you become a master of it. So eventually, I finished primary 5, finished primary 6. I couldn't even do my graduation in primary 6 because there was no money to pay for my graduation fee. So when my mates were enjoying the graduation ceremony, I was at home. I couldn't come. Now, let's fast forward. I started my secondary school. Now, my secondary school, from GSS 1, the name of my school is called Good Shepherd Comprehensive High School. It's a school in Lagos. Very sound, very brilliant. Today, they are excellent. I think they are situated in somewhere in Lagos. So, but look at the scenario. From GSS 1 to SS2, they will always send me away from school fees. Because why? My parents will always struggle to pay. Now, this is the pattern. The first 2 weeks in that school, nobody will send you away. The first 2 weeks, nobody send you away. Then, from the 3rd week, they will start sending students away that have not paid their school fees. So, from that 3rd week, they will send me home because I will be owing school fees. Now, in the 4th week, that's when they will write the first test in that school. So, in the 4th week, my father will have to come and beg, and will bring a small, that I think we should pay maybe 15,000 or so. My daddy will bring like 3,000 and come and beg that please, that he will pay the rest. So they will pay like 3,000 or so, and they will allow me for that 4th week. Now, after the test of that 4th week, 5th week, 6th week, 7th week, they will pursue me because I don't have money to pay. They will pursue me. I'll be at home. The 8th week, again, the second test. Then my father will come again with another fraction of the money and beg. They will allow me to write tests for that week. Ninth week, 10th week, 11th week, they will send me away. I won't be able to stay. Then on the 12th week, that's when the exam starts. My father will now write an undertaking that I will have to pay the school fees on the last day of the exam, the remaining one. So they will struggle, everybody will be struggling, look for money to borrow this, and the last day, I will now pay. So you can imagine that kind of pattern, reading under psychological emotion, when your mates will be in school, I'll be at home. But look at the setback, but look at the opportunity afforded me. I had to learn to read on my own. So I took the opportunity to learn to read on my own. So I was now, there was no lesson teacher. Somebody that cannot pay school fees. So where do I want to get a lesson teacher? So I have to sit down with those books. And I don't have much opportunity of even having textbooks. So it is even the notes that I have. I will be struggling to read. But there was a drive in me that my colleagues must not be better than me, even if I'm not in school. So eventually, sometimes I even used to carry first, but many times is second. I hardly come to third. I don't think I've ever come to third, even though I'm not always in school. I will either occasionally first, but many a times second. But what did they afford me? They afford me of have to learn and develop my own way of grasping complex analytical skills that I am enjoying today. That's a setback that God helped me to turn to an opportunity. Now it got to a peak in SS2. Now I could not even those patterns we could not even continue again. So I had to withdraw from school for 1 year. From SS2 to SS3, I was at home for 1 good year. Now there was another setback within this period that actually used to make me to carry second. I was not good in calculations. I was good in theories because those calculations, nobody to teach me. In fact, this is what happened. In my primary school, my daddy used to teach me those mathematics. He did not even go to school like that. So when I got to JSS1 and I went to meet him, there's an assignment that he gave me in maths that I don't know how to solve it. He just told me, son, see, me too, I had not read JSS, I had not read secondary school, so I can't teach you. You are now on your own. God will help you. So that means there was nobody to teach me those mathematics. It affected me because I struggled with how to understand calculations. I struggled. So because of that, and I began to develop interest in medicine. Medicine does not need much of the calculation. I was good in theories. Those notes, I will cram all of them. Because I have to, since I'm at home now, so I read and read. I know I've read Bible well, so I know those stories. But the calculations were giving me problem. But look at how God solved that problem for me. You see, that SS2 to SS3, there was no money again. So I was now at home for 1 year. In fact, I was thinking that maybe in 3 weeks that we'll change school so that I'll go to a cheaper one. But I was at home for 1 full year. I couldn't go to school. But do you know what I was doing? I was reading because I was preparing for WAEC. And I didn't want to miss the WAEC. My colleagues will be writing WAEC that year. So I didn't want to miss it. So do you know what I would do? When they all go to school, I'm at home reading. I have a very structured timetable that I follow. Then when they come back, one of my colleagues, my classmates, stays in my own house there where we stay. So I will go and meet her. I'll collect all her notes, especially her mathematics. Then I will spend the whole weekend trying to figure out how to solve. In fact, some assignments that she cannot solve, I will struggle to figure out how they solve these questions. So by Sunday evening or Sunday night or early Monday morning, I will have solved majority of them. I'll give it to her. She will go and submit, and she will score very well. And I was doing that for 1 full year. So I was reading maths, I was reading physics, I was reading chemistry, I was reading all the nice subjects I wanted to do in WAEC. And I was reading them alone. So by the time there was now money for me to go to school, we changed school. I got to the other school. The bad news or the setback in quotes that was told again is that WAEC has finished. So I've missed that year. So I have to repeat SS2 again. So I repeated SS2 again. Then, so in that period, in that repetition, so it helped me to reinforce my understanding of calculations. So I was now good in calculations as well as good in the theory. So look at the setbacks in quotes. They are the stepping stones I'm enjoying today. As I've said, I love to do research. I love to read. I love to study. I love to teach. I love to break complex concepts to easier understanding. So I can spend hours reading and reading and reading. As if God knew that I needed that time. So He was bringing those setbacks. And God gave me that understanding. Like I said, what gave me one of the best foundation God gave me was that early age of 8, 9, that I had to study the scriptures, I had to read the scriptures for enjoyment. It formed a very good bedrock for me. So by the time I wrote the WAEC that year, I cleared all my WAEC, but I failed JAMB. that year. So I had 189. I think the pass mark then was 200. So that means I'm not going to university. Okay, so I carry my certificate. I go and put it under bed because now at home it was now so worse that we could not even eat. We were struggling to eat that time. So since no WAEC. Now one of the next thing I did was that because I was now improving in calculations, so my love for medicine was dying, and I'm now beginning to love engineering. So what I did, I picked further mathematics, SS1 to 3, and technical drawing textbook. I picked book 1 and I think book 1. So I said I was going to spend the whole of the end of 2003 and early 2004. I want to spend 1 year to study these 4 books, and that's exactly what I did. So I spent 1 year studying further maths 1, 2, 3 and technical drawing. That time I had a lot of mixture. So I can pick rough sheets on the ground, on the floor, and turn them to useful books because I could not buy. So when I see rough papers that people throw away, I go and pick them. If sometimes I can even go to dustbin to pick them. I come home and bind them very neat. Like I write all my calculations. So many of them I could solve. I now began to develop my own way of solving method. In fact, there was one day I was solving how to prove from first principle the differentiation of sin x. I was looking at that work for 3 good days. On the 3rd day, when I discovered, I came up with my own method. I was looking at their work. I was rolling on the floor. I was so happy. My daddy was passing by. He had to stop. Like, what is happening to this son? So I quickly had to cover up that. There's no problem. I was so happy. So I now began to develop, looking at problems and coming up with my own way of solving it, even different from the way even a textbook will solve it. So now, at the middle of 2004, we play football. I joined one football team. They call us Maradona babes. I was good at football, very good. So I played, me and my brother. So, but one day, we now went to a competition early in the morning, as early as 7 a.m. We did not tell anybody at home. We did not tell my dad. We did not tell my mom. We sneak out of the house. So we went to the competition. They call it gala competition, where you will play all the group stages, quarterfinals, semi-final, and final on the same day. So we went as early as 7 a.m. We qualified to all the group stage. We entered the quarterfinal. So it was the quarterfinal. It was not getting late. Me and my brother were scared. We were already afraid. They would kill us at home. So we were even praying to lose our semi-final. We were praying. And thank God they beat us. They beat us like 3-1. So now to get home, we don't know the road. So we are still at the mercy of our coach that was so angry with us because I lose many scoring chances like that. So he was angry with us. But me, I was so happy that I lost because I know that I'm dead at home. So we shall find our way. We got home. Wanted to sneak inside. My daddy called us back. Where were you? We went to clinic. So that day, he now banned us from playing football. So we should not join any team again. And thankfully, I joined Apostolic Faith year 2000. So now it was that incident that is stopping us from football. And now me and my brother, Uche, we now switch our attention to keyboard, to music. So we poured our attention to music. Since we are not playing football again, we now poured our attention to music. So between that 2000 though we started 2003, but we were not too serious. But within that 2004 and 2005, I poured everything I had. So I became a junior organist, a junior chorister, a senior organist, a senior chorister at 2005. And because of time, if I begin to explain some of the challenges we passed through to play keyboard, I'll just share some of them. When we were to go for junior test, we used to go to our camp meeting at Igbesa. So it is there they will test you. And the camp meeting is 21 days. So in between the weeks, you do the test. there was no 1 naira on our hand, because that means we know where to eat, because we can't buy food. So the only option that we had was that we would go and join the Engr Alabo. Engr Alabo is those that wash plates that people in the camp used to eat. Those are the people who just join. So that when we wash, then we cannot eat, because they will give them free food. So that was the only plan that me and my brother had. So, and we carried our bag, we joined the washing plate people. So normally they used to do shifts. Some people wash in the morning, some people wash in the afternoon, some people wash in the night. But me and my brother, we said no, we will wash every time, morning, afternoon, night, so that we can be able to eat at least morning, afternoon, night. So while we will do that morning, afternoon, night, in the night, when we finish around 11, 12, we don't have keyboard. We're going to look for those that are practicing their keyboard. Some of them, they will be sleeping. We will push them aside. Some will beg them. Me and my brother will practice, at least, because the test was coming soon. And it was that condition that we passed through, and when we did our test, we did excellently well. The same thing happened when we were to do senior too. There was no money. We applied the same method, and that's how we became senior organist. Now, when we came back as senior organist, we were new. Nobody knew us in the church, because we just joined the church. And all of a sudden, we are the only organists in the church, because some of the big organists have left. Some have gone to school, some have married, they've left. So it was only me and my brother that now remained in the church, and we were playing for the church. And we played for the church faithfully till I went to school, till I came to school. So now look at setbacks. What you think was a setback? No money, no keyboard. When I started keyboard, we didn't have a keyboard. At first, what my mother did was that we now got a plank, and we drew that keyboard structure on the plank, so that we can be playing it and mentally be playing it, so that we can be practicing, because nobody has money to buy a keyboard. My dad had to stop us. He said, if we do that we can run mad. So we stopped that. So eventually, somebody was able to provide a keyboard in the church. From my house to the church, we would trek 45 minutes. So I finished school. So I would trek and go to school and go to church for 45 minutes and practice. After a while, the keyboard was off. We couldn't get it again. The only keyboard we could now get has 17 keys dead. That 17 keys were not working, but we kept practicing. We were about 20 that started. Only my brother and I remained. Every other person left. But today now, you see, my whole family, they are all organists. Even the lady among us, we are all organists. So the foundation that my brother and I laid, that the rest had to follow. My youngest brother now is the keyboardist for Futa branch. Is the one that plays, is part of those that play keyboard. And so that foundation we were able to transfer it to every person in the family. That's turning setbacks to opportunities. So we did that. Now, when it was time for senior, so somebody again rented one keyboard for me. At that time, he used to rent it for 500 naira. So he gave me that keyboard. I was at home. Me and my brother. I finished school, so my brother still goes to school. Now, I was at home. I was not going to school, because now all of this time, I finished secondary school. I've passed my work, but I failed JAMB. But I could not write more JAMB because there was no money to go. So we're not thinking of going to school that time. That senior, in 2005, I was preparing for senior. I was at home. So I will prepare. When I wake up in the morning, I quickly do all my work, so that by 10 a.m. I have finished every work I want to do. Then I will go to the keyboard, sit down. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm on that keyboard, practicing for my senior. I chose some of the hardest senior pieces to play. I deliberately chose them. So it engaged me a lot. So I will spend from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. playing. In 3 months' time, we are now asked, our teacher now asked us to come to Anthony to come and present, let's know what is going on. So I went there. My teacher asked me to sit down. I sat down. I played this one, I play this one, I play this one, I play. I played your piece. I played everything that needed to be played for senior in one sitting. The man was so impressed. He gave me money to go and buy more to do. He was impressed. So I was recommended for my senior 3 months before the camp meeting, turning setbacks to opportunities. Now, you will not think in 2005, okay, will I go to school? It was even getting worse in my family. It was even so worse. In 2005, they gave back to our last born. In the hospital there, there was no money at home to even pay for hospital bill. But I have been saving 10 naira since my SS1 that they used to give me to go to school. I used to save money. So sometimes when we don't eat, they give us money. Instead of eating my own money, I save them. It was this period that money became very useful. So I brought out 1,500 that I've saved for 3 years. No 10 naira now. You imagine. So over 3 years, I've saved that money. I think I have about 6,000 in my hand that time. So I brought out 1,500, gave it to my dad. That's what they used to pay school fees for to release my mommy from the hospital. So now it now remember about 4,000 or so. So I brought out the 4,000. We were managing it. The only food we could cook in the house was beans, because that's the cheapest food that time. One day, my father now called me and my brother. See, there's no food in the house, so, and there's nobody who can beg now that will give us food. Two of you have to go and look for work that will be giving us daily food for us to eat. It was as worse as that. The following day, I told my brother, come, let's go out. So we went out to go and look for a job. And we're not looking for the one that will pay us per month. We're looking for the one that will pay us per day. So that means we have to be sales rep, people that will go and sell, make money and order. So my brother went one way, I went another way. The one way I saw is to sell cream, powder, and all those ones. So I started. My brother saw the one that they will say iron clipper, and that one they will train him for 2 days. Me, I'm a very shy person. I don't know how to talk like that too. But this one I don't have choice. The first day, as I got there, they carry cream, they carry powder. They told me I should just go and sell. They told me the price. So if I sell so amount, this is the company price. This one is my gain. I carry products. Where will I go to? I started check. I went to one place. I was at a loss. What will I do? I don't know how to do all these things. Me, I'm a secluded person. I'm an introvert at that time. But this time I have to talk. So I just summoned courage. Oh, God, please help me. That day, I started to roam around. I was able to sell 700 naira that day. From all the products, I sold 700 naira that day. 400 naira is company money. 300 naira is my own. So I went to the company. I gave them 400. This is about 2005. I gave them 400 naira. They look at me. Well, they said, okay, well, this is your first day. No problem. You try, but you will do better. It was a very poor sale as far as the company is concerned. I brought 300 naira. 300 naira was a big money in my house. I was a king that day because I brought money at least that we used to eat that day and in the morning before we go out. My dad even said, at least if I can be bringing 300 naira every day, at least we'll have something to eat. That's how it was. Now, from that 2005 to 2007, I was a hawker throughout the whole of Lagos. So later I had to leave that my place. I was not comfortable selling powder and cream and all that because sometimes we tell them that this cream, if you rub it, it will remove a stretch mark. When they rub it finish, they don't remove anything. We will not be dodging them. So I was not comfortable. As a Christian, I don't need to be telling lie about what I'm selling. So I left. So I joined my brother where we sell iron and clipper. So I was comfortable with that one. Now, me and my brother, we were hawkers the whole of Lagos for 2 good years, 2 years and 1 week. We'll go to the company, we'll collect iron, we'll collect clipper. I think the two of them buy iron, buy clipper, get iron free. It's 2,000 naira. So we sell for 2,500. 500 naira is our own gain. 200 naira is 2,000 naira is the company gain. We do that for 2 good years. Do you know what we are doing? So when we sell, the whole of the week, we'll save the money. The whole of the week, we'll come back home. We'll give our parents what they will eat because we're staying in the we're living in that company so that to ease transportation. So at the end of the week, when we get back home, we'll give a fraction to my dad what they will use to eat for that week in the house. We will take a fraction as our transport for the week. Then me and my brother will also save a fraction of it because we believe that we will still go back to school. We believe so. So we'll save a fraction of it. Then we'll give my dad a fraction for them to eat. Then we take a fraction as our transport fare. Now, out of the one that we are giving our daddy, my daddy too will also keep a fraction and save. We didn't even know that he was doing so. So we did that for 2 years and 1 week. We were selling, we were going every place. It was in fact, I have a diary where I documented all that happened that 2 years. It's in my house here. It was an experience I've never I said, no, this is a live experience. And, it brought maturity in me. As if God knew that when I get to school, that my maturity is going to be very, very needed because we are going to face more hurdles. So it's like as if God make us to pass through that 2 years for training. So we, imagine you have to trust God for your sales that day, because this give us our daily bread. And we do that for 2 good years. So we are doing that small savings. When it was 2 years and 1 week, by God's providence, that's when I now got to know about FUTA. Now my own colleague in when I was in SS2, that I missed 1 year. My own colleague, they did WAEC in 2003. In 2002. We had to do in 2003. My best friend in 2002, he attended FUTA. So he was one who was telling me about FUTA. FUTA is this and that. So by the time I was ready to go to school, so what we did, so when we were saving that money, little by little, so it got to a point, okay, the money, after that 2 years, it has reached a sizable amount. So my dad now said, okay, let me even ask about this FUTA, that they have a pedigree program. I can do that pedigree. The school fees was 55,000. So at least I was able to get that 55,000, and I went to pay for that pedigree. So by the time I got to start my pedigree, that my friend that were in secondary school, the same class, as at least he was finishing. It was at least in my own pedigree, it was in final year, 500 level. So when I finished pedigree, he was finishing. So you can imagine that 5 years gap and all that. So so I left that work and I came to pedigree. Now when I was going for pedigree, they carried the whole money that was in the house, 30,000 naira, and gave to me and said, see, maybe you know that this is every money in the house that we can give you. You don't call back home. Just manage it for the whole of the pedigree program. The pedigree program is about 8 months. So manage this 30,000 naira for 8 months. And you cannot call back because we don't have money. All of us, we are managing ourselves. And I understood, because all of us, we suffer, we know how we pass through all this together. So I carried 30,000 naira. I came to FUTA. My fellowship, AFCF, where I stayed, our secretariat, I have to pay 10,000 naira as house rent. And so every month, for that 8 months, I was spending 2,000 naira on my feeding. I don't enter motor to go to school. I have to check because I couldn't afford transport fare. So I spent, the money was well managed. I pay my jam fee there, 2,000, I think it's 2,000 naira. I even used 2,000 naira and photocopy all the material I used for 100 level. I photocopy everything before I left. And I still had a small change. Now when I got to him, I was able to buy one phone. But just that the boy that I got the phone scammed me. So he gave me a very fake phone and all that. So I didn't call home one day. Or that 30,000 naira was well managed, well utilized, and you will have even never known that I was so. And so now I'm sharing all this because so that I don't want to preach. I want you to see all this experience, to know that when they say you can turn setback to opportunities, it happens in real life, real time. So by the time I finished my 100 level, my pedigree, thank God I passed. So I was admitted in 100 level in 2008. So imagine someone that finished secondary school in 2003. Now I'm getting to 100 level in 2008. That was 5 good years gap. So that's why I said that my colleague has finished his own degree. So when I was in 100 level, he has finished 500 level. Now I started my 100 level. 100 level first semester. My parents were able to send 5,000 to me. Second, again, then the money again sent 3,000 to me. That's when I knew that. No, my people, they cannot survive. They don't have, I know they struggle at home. So I now begin to ask myself, how will I survive? But I have this survival instinct. God has helped us. We don't see challenges as setback. We see them as stepping stones. So that, God has already built that kind of confidence in me already. So you know what I was thinking? After my first semester, second semester, I said, no, I'm going to look for work. I have to survive. I have to look for work. So I went to meet our pastor. I told him, I said, I went to meet him in his office. I said, sir, somebody that wants to read, I want to do well in his department. I also want to work. Does it affect? He said no. If the person is a serious student, he knows how to manage both and all that. So I told him that I want to work. That my parents can't survive. They can't give me any money because they don't have. I want to work and all that. And so he asked me which type. I said I want to teach. I love teaching. So I'm good in mathematics, physics, and all those. So he said, okay, there are 2 lecturers in my department. He was in IDD, Industrial Design Department. So he said there are 2 lecturers that have been looking for teachers, but they are not around now. That don't worry, that he will look for them. When he sees them, he will tell them that he has a son that is looking for lecture, that he will call me. So I was about standing up to go. The first of the lecturer came in that department. The first of them came in. He just saw him. He just said, "Hey, Mr. So, come. You are telling me about home lesson. This is a teacher. This guy is good." The man said, "Okay, no problem. That I should resume the following day. I should come to his house the following day and come and start teaching his son." I was so happy. I knew that's God at work. I was about standing up again. The other person came in. The other person, they introduced me to her again. Oh, yeah, I should resume 2 days later. The one on Thursday, one on Saturday. That's how I clinched my first work. Oh, this one is pure miracle because I was not expecting to see what that day. So I went to the other one. The first one said they will pay me 3,000, 2 children, 3,000 per month. The other one said they will pay me 4,000 per month. So the two money is 7,000 per month. No problem. I know it's very small, but that's the starting point. So I picked it up and I was doing that. I was reading and I was very active in the fellowship. Very active because I was the organist in the fellowship. So I was active in the fellowship, in music department and other activities in the fellowship. So I was doing that. Now look at it. So sometimes when I read, I say, how do we survive this period? And now look at what we have passed through before we get to university. Those trainings that God has allowed, those challenges, those things that you think they are set back, that God has allowed. So I used to ask myself that, where did I get the kind of mentality that those things are not set back? The only place I could trace it back is the early stage I was reading those Bibles, and I was reading the story of David, especially David and Goliath, David in the cave, all those escapades of David, and now they seem like childhood story, but I begin to see those things have formed and changed my mentality completely. So I too am not afraid of challenges. I can always, and God saw that, and God will always come in at times when you know that so and make at least pushing. But God knew that we need to pass through those stages so that we'll be useful in His hand, so that I'll be extremely useful in His hand. Now, let me come back again. Now I did that home lesson for the next 5 years until I finished. Till I graduated, I was doing home lessons. And home lessons did not stop in my hand. It's just like the story of when Elijah said, this pot of oil. I mean, Elijah was telling that woman, said, this pot of oil. No, okay, I think it's Elijah. It will not stop until God will send the rain. You see this food and this oil, it will not flow away until God will send the rain. That's exactly the miracle God did for me. As I'm finishing this one, this parent is recommending me for another parent. This one is recommending for another parent. This person is recommending for another parent. That's how I never pasted advert anything. I never even tell anybody, but it's by recommendation. Why? I took every opportunity I have seriously. As I was serious with my studies, I was serious with the student I was teaching. Many of the families I taught till today, they take me as part of their own family. Now let me share some of the testimonies there. In 300 level, in 200 level, okay, in 100 level, that family, I took them one semester. The second semester, I started another family. Now, I don't know that family was watching me. So they saw the seriousness as if it's my own brother I was teaching. So eventually the one I was teaching was secondary school. He finished, he passed, and he got admission to FUTA in my own department. So now I was in 200 level. So I taught him between my 100 level and 200 level. Now, when I was finishing my 200 level, the parents of that boy now approached me and said they want me to look for an accommodation for him, that they want him to stay with me in school. Now, these people have a house. They have their own personal house. They even have a house that is at FUTA Junction. It's a bit far from. It's not. At least it's not checkable. But I will still spend. You still enter cab to get to FUTA. And that boy could have stayed there, but they said no. They want him to stay with me in FUTA. So they said I should go and look for a house. So that's my 300 level. So I went to look for a house. Eventually, we stayed in that house, and they were the one paying my school fees, and they were paying my house rent. They were paying the feeding, and every other thing that I needed. I was not paying anything again. That parents took care of everything till I finished 500 level. Now, hello, Apa.
Hi, sir. Yeah, you can go on, sir. That was just a notch. You can go on, sir.
Sorry, how many minutes do I have? I should be rounding up.
5 minutes. Five
Okay,
minutes,
five
sir.
minutes. Okay, I will do that now. Let me round up in 5 minutes. So, now, okay, let me cut every other story. Today, I'm pursuing my PhD. I'm a lecturer now in the same footer that I started my PhD degree. I'm now a lecturer there in the Department of Information and Communication Engineering. You see, now where I'm now going now is that today, I now have the opportunity of um, um, not only impacting students. Now, many of those students now see me as their role model. Many of my students, they now see me as their role model. They see me as a mentor. Now, when I know right from time I said I wanted to teach, I wanted to do research. So I know I was coming to other academics. Now, Nigerian academics don't have money. I know that one, but I saw beyond the money. I saw the lives, the younger ones. As it was now, and I realized that that's why God made me to pass through those challenges and gave me the mentality to know that those challenges I must take them as stepping stone, just like the story of Joseph too. So now, as a lecturer, now as I'm talking, um, the mindset I have as a lecturer is not the mindset of I don't take myself as a lecturer. I take myself as a teacher. I take myself as a mentor. So I gather those students. I, I spend hours on my own studying so that when those students receive my lecture, they see the difference. There was a day I was teaching them electromagnetism, very complex topic. One of them has to ask me, sir, how are you understanding this? That they have tried many textbooks, they are not understanding. And I told them the secret. I said, sometimes I wake up as early as 1 a.m. in the night and I will watch. I want to teach you just a topic or a subtopic that I can watch up to 15, 10, 20 YouTubes. And I take note of every YouTube I watch. Then I've downloaded several textbooks and I've read through everything. Then I will now combine all of them and form one. And while I'm doing that, I'm beginning to join together all the missing links. And eventually I get the concept, I get the understanding. And even doing that, I come up with my own way of explaining to you that but before I come to your class, I have to sit down and say, I'm coming to teach a class of maybe about 100 students. And I'm looking at the weakest person in the class. And how can I break this thing to make sure that the weakest person understands it? You know, when I finish that, all of them, they started clapping for me. So till today, even as I was coming, I was rushing to this program in the night. Today, I'm talking of now, in the night, I was rushing for this program, so I will not miss it. One of my students saw me in the dark and I had to call my name and stop me and come to shake me and say, he called my name, he said, thank you very much. And he left just to greet me. I was surprised. Because me, I would have not known him. But I'm telling you, I'm not in the day, in the night. So it has gone beyond teaching. It has gone beyond lecturing. It has gone beyond. I now see myself as a teacher, as a role model. There was a time I went to Kenya to present some of the research I do. I picked one of my students along. In fact, when I got to Kenya, even those ones, they were surprised that you are a lecturer, you brought your own student. This week alone, 2 of my students went to Lagos to represent me on one research I'm working on. They were there. They housed them for 5 days. You can see the impact in this life of these students. So they now begin to see things beyond the classroom. They now begin to see things beyond the YDX. They now begin to. I let them know that the theories we teach you in the class are extremely important, but you have to mix them with the practicals. So when they come to my office, they see the way I read, they see the way I work, they see the way I mix the two up, and they are encouraged. So many of them now begin to take the academic serious and all that. So don't run away from challenges. Don't ever. You need them. Don't run away from setbacks. Sit down and pray and ask God. These setbacks are important for me. So how do I make them as a stepping stone? And when you begin to do that, many of them will come. But as you are all crossing each hurdle every day, then you begin to see the very purpose why God calls you. Now I see my own purpose in life. I know my own purpose. It's beyond money. I've seen the lives that I have to nurture up. In fact, sometimes the work is so overwhelming. I have to pray and say, God, give me the energy, give me the strength, so that more and more lives begin to see Christ. Now, my students they now say that hard work is important. There is no shortcut. That it is when you take time to look at these things little by little and you are consistent, now begin to see the success, now begin to see the breakthrough. So many of them are beginning to understand this. And that's exactly what this team for this program is. Turning your setback to opportunities so that you can impact your generation. It's not about you. It's about the generation you want to impact, and there are many of them waiting for every one of you. So don't run away from challenges. Don't run away from setbacks. Don't look for shortcuts. Pass through that hard one. Pass through it. See your life purpose in it. Begin to see that God is leading you somewhere, and you begin to see that those crucibles that you pass through, they shape your life. They make you. They refine you. They make you hard. You are not afraid of. You are not afraid of those things that you think are difficult. When you see them, you cross over them and you move on. And when you get to those points, then you can be able to draw many lives to follow you, and you now become a blessing. Always make sure that you are a channel of blessing. Begin to tear down yourself. Make sure that you are a channel of blessing in your generation, especially in this Nigeria, this one that this our nation now that we are passing. So God needs us to be able to sit down and begin to look beyond the trouble, even the trouble that we are passing through. We see them as challenges. Everything that happened in my environment, I used to tell my students, I used to sit and think, this is happening. How do I turn them to research work? That's what I used to tell my students. So sometimes I form my research work for my project students. This is what they have to do. Go and look at this, and they come back. Because we see those setbacks, in quotes, as opportunities, so that we can fulfill the very purpose why God calls us in life. That's what matters. It's not how much money you make. It's about you fulfilling purpose, you fulfilling the gift that God has given to you. That's where your reward will be in heaven. If you don't fulfill your purpose in life, you will not get any reward. You can make heaven, no, but if you want to get reward, make sure you fulfill purpose. To fulfill purpose, you must pass through those challenges, and you must allow God to help you so that those challenges mold you and become a blessing to your society. So let me stop there. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Please, can we keep our emojis coming in, your applause, everything? Thank you so much, Engineer Charles, for your powerful story. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And it really captured the art of the webinars team. And really, you have not just turned your setback into opportunities, but also you have used it as a way to also inspire others, to bless other people's life, and to give a message of hope to us, to others, and to let us know that challenges can be seen differently. They can be used as a stepping stone to making us be a channel of blessings to others around us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So okay, thank you so much. You can keep the emojis coming in. Before we go to the question and answer session, which will be coming up after this, I would like to welcome people that joined the in the course of Engineers Charles session. I'd like to welcome Miss Ibukunoluwa, Mr. Olubodun, Miss Boluwade Odunayo. You are welcome. We are happy to have you around. Mr. Stephen, Mr. Excel, Mr. Olu, and Mr. Mr. Bright. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to have you around. We're really happy to have you around, and I hope you got one or two things from the session. So I would like to ask that if you have a question to ask, please signify by raising up your hand. You can raise up your hand so I would see it from here so that you can ask your question. And you can also use the in-call messages, the in-call message option. I'll check that now. Please let's send in our question. Okay. While we wait for the question, Engineer Charles, sir, I have a question here already. Can
Okay.
I read it out? Okay, sir.
Yes, you read that. Yes, let me.
Yes, sir. So, can you please tell us how do you think we can differentiate between a challenge that is just going to be temporary and the one that is like a pointer for us to change direction. Do you get the
Okay.
question, sir?
Yes, I get it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the most important thing, the first thing you have to know is this: what's your life's purpose? What's your goal in life? What are those gifts that God has given to you? That's the first thing you have to find out. Very important. Now, for somebody like me, right from time, these are my gifts, these are my talents: reading, writing, researching, studying, teaching. I love them. So right from time, I love this. In fact, let me tell you, one day, there was a day in my, I think in my primary school, so secondary, early secondary, that no, I think primary school, they sent this form that my parents should fill. So, and one of them is, they asked my parents, my parent was to fill, what's your hobby? What's your hobby? Your child's hobby? My daddy filled, he loves reading the Bible. I know I was there, I love reading the Bible that time. Not just reading, I love reading normally. I love reading the Bible. So, the first thing first is understand your talents, understand your gifts, understand you, and begin to have a, you may not understand it fully, have a sense of this is where God is calling me in life. Then number two, don't let your life pursuit be about yourself, your personal gain. Always look at what is going to be my impact in the society. Now, this is one thing I look at. Number one, don't look down on yourself. You are not inferior. Don't look above yourself. Don't think you are superior. But the idea is this: don't look at yourself at all. It's not about you. So it's just about God using your own life. Most importantly is your generation, your impact in the generation. So how do we use those talents and those gifts? So if whatever you are doing, whatever you find yourself you are doing is not going to impact your generation, it's not going to push you to that goal, then it's about time to turn. For example, let me cite an example. Let's look at now. Okay, when I was selling that hawking, that when we were hawking and all that, one of my first struggle was that but if I'm going to be hawking, I'm not a businessman. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a reader. I love to read. So how will I be doing this work and be reading? So, but then what pushed us there was that it's for survival mode. Because there was no food to eat. So I have to be there because that's the only means we know that time that we can get money every day to survive. So I already know that this is for survival mode. That means I'm not going to be there permanently. It's not going to be a permanent thing for me. I already know that one. So let me survive it, and if I conquer a bit, then I leave. So, but this is what I did. Now, I did not mention this. That you know that 2 years when we were doing that hawking, saving that small money, I was buying textbooks. I bought physics textbook, I bought chemistry textbooks, I bought mathematics textbook. Now, as at that time, I don't know whether this textbook will be useful in the university or not, but I know I'm going to need it in university. I know that. So I was preparing for university that time. Even I was doing those hawking. So me and my brother will say there was one I bought 1,005, there was one I bought 700. Big textbooks. The textbooks are still with me, beside me as I'm talking to you. And those textbooks, when I finished using them in my 100 level, I gave it to the second generation, I gave it to the third generation, I gave it to even the fourth generation. It was when they were now spoiling it, I had to keep it back. In fact, there was even one, I dropped it in my fellowship library. But I had to go, I think it's today now, if you go to my fellowship library, one of my textbooks is there because I bought another new one. So I left that one there. So now, so that's why you have to understand your life gifts, your life purpose, and you have to understand what God has called you to be. Now, if you begin to put that in mind, you may not know easily at first, but immediately you begin to put that in mind, and you begin to follow God. Take your time to read the scriptures, because in the scriptures it is written of you. Make sure your Bible, your scripture must be your friend. In the volume of books, Jesus said, it is written of me. Every one of us, in the volume of scriptures in the Bible there, it is, and that's one God blessing that God gave me to read those Bibles when I was small. So when I was now growing, I was now seeing what it means to be a teacher. When David will say, the Lord is my shepherd, I was tending those sheep, and I used to fight the lion, I used to fight the leopard and all that. to be able to keep his sheep. So those things, when I was not growing up, they were not making more sense to me. So this is my role. So for somebody that's going to be a teacher, that person must be a reader, must be a researcher, must learn how to study. For someone that's going to be a mentor, then you must pass through hard times. You must pass through difficult times. So those mentality has formed in me already. So I was not seeing them as devil. No, I was not seeing them as devil. I was seeing them as training. That's what I said. So when I passed through those hardship that time, I didn't see them as a devil pursuing my family or pursuing me. I was seeing them that God was training me for a role that I'm going to need it when I get there. And truly, when I came to university, I now saw the importance that I passed through those things that time, because I was a big inspiration to a lot of people. So that is very crucial.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to recognize the presence of representative from some schools around us here in Nigeria. We have representative from FUTA. Please, if you are on the call, you can just react to show that you are present. Then we have representatives from AFWED. We have from Uniben. Please let's drop our emojis. Let's react. Thank you very much. So we'll be moving on to the next session. Okay, so we'll be moving on to the next session, and that will be feedback session. That will be a feedback session from one of our special guests in person of Professor Jaman Ilojo. It's going to give us a rap session so far. You are welcome on board, sir.
Thank you, Dani. First of all, I would like to thank engineer at Udekwe for this thoughtful and insightful talk. I think we can all learn a lot from your experiences, and thanks a lot. And I would like to focus this comment on something I noticed from Mr. Charles Udekwe. I noticed his passion. His heart is full of strength, and I was wondering, where does that come from? And I got to the conclusion that it's his ability to turn these difficulties into opportunities. We can when we face a difficulty, we can feel small, and we can feel that we don't have the ability or maybe the strength to go on. But when we give ourselves the chance to be fearful, but at the same time be brave and go for the goal with the help of Jesus and God, you can achieve almost anything, I can assure you. And in that process, your heart becomes stronger. So God bless Engineer Charles Udekwe for his strength and his kindness, because only a strong heart can be kind. That is also something I noticed, since Engineer Udekwe is a teacher. You have to be kind to be a teacher, and that kindness is the kind of abilities that build a community, a strong community. So blessings for everyone at the conference, and thanks a lot again for the invitation. Thank you, Tani.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we give a round of applause? Okay, before we move on, I'd like to welcome Mr. John, Mr. Olu, and also one of our special guests also in person of Comrade Emmanuel Ajishafe, who is President National Congress of Akoko Students. You are welcome, sir. So now we'll be having the closing remarks, and that will be given by the chairman of this great organization in person of Mr. Afe Aduragbemi, but the CEO of the organization in person of Mr. Engr would read the speech, the closing remarks on his behalf. So now I would like us to welcome Mr. Angel Akpan as he takes the stage to read out the closing remarks and speech from the CEO of this great organization. Let's keep the applause coming in as he takes the stage. You are welcome, Mr. Angel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Thank you. So, just give me a few minutes. Permit me to share my screen. Um, okay, okay. Can everyone see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I will just read. The board of directors and the entire team of the exclusive music organization writes to appreciate every single participant today. We celebrate you immensely for being a part of and identifying with this vision. We especially appreciate our guest speaker for today's episode of this series, in person of Engineer Charles Udekwe, who did not only honor our requests, but coming rather, but you poured out your hearts into the presentation. The entire story format brought the focus of the session to life. We are deeply grateful. We unreservedly appreciate Professor Jaman, who, despite the time zone difference, made time for us and attended today's episode. You came to our level and registered your quality and academic presence with us. Thank you, sir. Aduragbemi Afe, board chairman. So thank you very much. That is from the board chairman. Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Miracle Adirima.
Thank you so much, sir, for that. Okay. So before we finally close for today, before we have the networking session, we'd like to bring to our notice as a team from the Exclusive Music Organization, would like to bring to our notice that our next music outreach should be coming up on 27th of May 2025, and that will be coming up in Ondo State School for the Hearing Impaired, and would solicit your support and donations in whatever way you can. Thank you so much in advance. And also want to appreciate everyone for coming. Thank you so much for joining in on this call. Thank you so much for participating in this wonderful episode. And we really would like that you come around in other webinars, in other programs, um, in other programs that will be organized. And having said that, we like to move on to the networking session so you can meet somebody, you can greet somebody, and just make sure you get to know somebody before you go. And we are done with the program for tonight. We are done with the webinar for tonight. And I hope that you were able to get one or two things. You were able to learn something. You were able to unlearn something. And you were able to get answers to the questions that has been on your mind about setback and challenges. Thank you so much once again for joining. Have a good night rest.